Hey there, it's Laura here from MakingCardsIsDone.com, and today I'm honored to be participating in Christy's celebration video hop. Christy recently reached 10,000 YouTube subscribers over at her YouTube channel, Christy Gets Crafty. I'm just so very happy for my dear crafty friends, so congratulations, Christy. In total, there are 5 prizes to be won. You could win a gift voucher to Lawn Fawn, Butterfly Reflections Inc., W+9, or Newton's Nook. Avriel is also giving away their Bandcamp stamp set, and all you have to do is leave comments along the video hop by Friday, September 30. Christy will be announcing the winners on her blog on Saturday, October 1st, so good luck. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to do some fluffy Copic coloring for your cute critter images. So let's get started. I'm starting out with the Friends for All Season Fall stamp set from W+9, and I'll be stamping some of these images onto some Simon Says Stamp Copic friendly cardstock. I'm going to ink up all of my images with Mint of Tuxedo Black ink. I just really like to use this ink with this particular cardstock for Copic coloring because the ink doesn't bleed and the paper is just really easy to use for Copic coloring. The colors blend really easily and just so smooth, so I would definitely recommend this cardstock. First, I'll be coloring the leaves. I'm using E57 first to add the veins to this leaf, and then I am blending that out with the E55. I went back in with the E57 to add some extra shading. Then for the red leaf, I am using R29 to add shading and R24 to blend it all out. I wanted to add a darker tone of red, so I went ahead and did that with the R37 marker. Next, I'm going to be coloring a brownish or kind of orangey leaf with the YR27 marker and the YR24 marker. Then finally, I'm coloring a yellow leaf with Y18 and YOOO. Then for this little bird, I am using N1 to add some shading first, and I blended that out with the NO marker. I wanted to add some darker shading, so I am doing that with the N2 marker, and then I just blended that out with the NO. Next, I'm coloring my little bear, and I wanted the bear to look fluffy. So I'm starting out with the E53 Copic marker, and I'm adding the color with a feathering motion. So this technique is called feathering. I learned this from a free kit and Clowder class. I will link to this class in my video description below. So after I added the E53, I am using that same feathering technique, but this time I am using the E50 marker to blend it all out. I wanted to add some darker shading, so I am doing that with the E55 marker. As you can see, I'm kind of flicking my brush, so I'm doing the feathering again. And so I'm just going to add this darker tone of brown. Then I am blending that out with my mid-tone color, which is E53. And as you can see, I am going over that darker brown. So I'm just blending it all together. And then finally, to add some highlight here and there, I am using the E50 marker. So I did the same for the bear's body. I'm just showing you how I colored the hat. Then for his little nose, I am using E30 and E000 to add some highlights. Then for the scarf, I am starting out with the BV08 marker to add my shading. Then I am blending that out with the BV04. And then finally, I'm adding some highlight with my BV02 marker. As you can see, I am using that same feathering motion. I am just adding a little bit less flicks because I really want my bear to pop, but I also want my scarf to look a little bit like soft or a little bit fuzzy as well. So after I colored all of my images, it's time to die cut all of them. I am using the coordinating dies, but of course you could just fuzzy cut them. So after I run these through my die cutting machine, I went ahead and I die cut 2 tags. I used the Tag Buddies die cut set from Casual Fridays. I die cut the tag once out of watercolor paper, and then I die cut it another time out of masking paper. I'm going to line up a border die from the Stitched Borders 1 die cut set from Pretty Pink Posh to create a mask. I am using the top portion of the mask, or no, I'm going to start up with the bottom portion of the tag. So I'm going to use that to mask off my grassy hill so I can create a nice blue sky. So I'm just going to line that up very easily. This is masking paper. If you don't have masking paper, then you could use a post-it note. I also mounted some painter's tape on the back of my watercolor paper tag, so it's just easier to do the ink blending. I'm using tumbled glass distress ink to add a blue sky, and I am adding the ink heavier at the bottom just to create a nice ombre effect. The reason why I'm using watercolor paper is because I think that distress ink just blends better on watercolor paper than it does with regular white cardstock. I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong, but I just can't seem to get a nice blended look with regular white cardstock, so that's why I'm using watercolor paper. After removing my mask, I am heat setting my little tag just to make sure that the sky is dry, because otherwise my mask won't stick to that area. So after I adhered my mask, it's time to create a lovely grassy hill. I am using some Mowed Lawn Distress ink to add a darker tone of green, and then I am blending that out with Shabby Shutters ink. So as you can see, I am applying the Mowed Lawn ink on the bottom of my tag, and then I am blending that out with Shabby Shutters. So next, I'm going to be mounting everything together. I'm going to adhere the little bear with some foam adhesive to my tag, and I'm adhering the leaves with Tombow Mono multi-glue. So first I like to pick up my leaf with my EK6S tweezers, then I add a drop of glue, and then I like to swipe it off onto some scrap paper. And the reason why I'm doing this is just to make sure that whenever I adhere my little leaf onto the tag, that the glue doesn't spread everywhere when you press it down. So that's just a little tip. For my sentiment, I am using the Speech Bubble from the Friends for All Season Fall Stamp Set from W+9, and I'm inking up that Speech Bubble with Coral Cavern ink from the ton. Then for my sentiment, I am using Mento Tuxedo Black ink. I am inking up the Happy Birthday to You stamp. And then once I did that, I thought I needed to stamp a fun little background for this tag. I just really love to do or like to use this layout. It's just my go-to layout whenever I want to make something quick but also kind of cute. So I'm using the Year-Round Cheer stamp set from W+9 for these leaves. I inked up the first leaves with Spiced Chai ink from the ton. Then I'm using Pink Derby ink for those pink leaves. And then for the yellow leaves, I'm using Amber Citrine ink. So I'm just going to stamp these leaves in pairs of 3. And then when I stamped the leaves, it's time to stamp the veins. I'm doing that with dark roast ink from the ton. This is like a really dark gray, kind of brownish color, which is just really nice to stamp or to use with these leaves. Then I also want to stamp some acorns. I'm going to stamp the cap with, let's see, this is Aspen Cocoa ink. So I'm stamping the caps with Aspen Cocoa ink from the ton. And then I'm stamping the other piece with Warm Hazelnut ink from the ton. It's really easy to line up these stamps with my acrylic block, but you could also use a Misty tool, of course. Next, I'm going to adhere my little tag to my scene or to my leaf paper with some foam adhesive, and I'm adhering the full finished piece onto a red note card from Hero Arts. Finally, I'm going to be finishing off my card by adding a little bit of shine here and there. I'm using my Clear Wink of Stella glitter pen to add some glitter to the leaves. Then I'm going to add a little bit of dimension to these leaves with glossy accents. I'm using the mini bottle of glossy accents because my larger bottle always clogs up. Not sure why, but it just does for me. And then I'm also adding a little bit of glitter to these leaves with diamond stickles from Ranger. So that finishes up my card for Christy's celebration video hop. Be sure to check out my video description for the link to the next video of this hop, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye!